KGVO Missoula Sports Talk Tonight and streaming online at Newstalk, KGVO.com.
Skol! 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 Oh boy, it's Viking territory here on Sports Talk Tonight. Denny Bedard.
Oh, you're like my wife. You're guilty by association because your wife is as crazy as I am.
I'm like your wife. Thank you.
You know what I mean.
Okay. That was complimentary, I'm sure.
Guilty by association. So there.
I tell you what, Sports Talk Tonight, Gerns and Bedard, live from the KGVO studios. We are basking in the purple glow and we'll get to this maybe later in the show. But
you can save that one. That's all right. I understand.
One of the better endings of all time in the NFL.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking, while I'd love for them to go to the Super Bowl, if they don't, I'll always have that game Sunday.
Oh,
pretty exciting.
We'll always have some phrase.
Don't get distracted. No. Stay on task now, son.
No. Sports Talk Tonight. We are streaming worldwide on newstalkkgvo.com, on the AM dial 1290, over on the FM side 98.3. Follow us on Twitter at Sports Talk Back. Podcasts online at
October-ish.
First spring as the head coach of the Lady Grizzly softball program. Coach Melanie Meuchel, welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me tonight.
You've got big shoes to fill. You have to play an instrument if you want to be a part of the band.
Yeah.
We always say Jamie was here. Jamie Pinkerton, the former coach, was here so many times. He was a member of the band.
And she got through the first phase. She got the head coaching job. Mm-hmm. But now, comes the tough part, landing a gig on Sports Talk Tonight.
That's right.
As part of the house band. Because that's probably why Jamie left. She said, well, I wouldn't have to go see those guys every other week if I took this Iowa State job. So.
Well, Iowa State band's not as good as our band.
Well, that's probably true.
Absolutely.
Yep. But boy, it's been a whirlwind year for you, has it not?
It has been, starting really in August.
And you were here. Actually, you've been here almost from the beginning.
Yeah. It's not like you're brand new to the program. You were, of course, an assistant coach and stepped into the lead role. And as you said, since August, that was what was the priority from August to October when you officially named? I'd imagine not coddled the athletes, but you probably had to spend a lot of extra time just making sure, hey, all the players okay, everything good around here still and all of that?
Yeah, absolutely. In August, we received the text from Jamie saying that he was accepting the job out at Iowa State. And really from that point, I think I got the message at 6 p.m. and probably the players 6:15 and probably 6:15 and 30 seconds, my phone blew up. And really it just was to keep the program going in the right direction. Keep the players with a positive perspective that the university and the athletic department would do their due diligence and find the right fit for the program, as well as keep in touch with the recruits that we had committed and keep them with the vision of Grizz softball.
I mean, not too unfamiliar is what the football program just went through.
Oh, exactly.
And I guess a big testament to the program that you guys have built, that as far as I can tell, none of those prospective athletes wavered and they signed on and they're ready to go.
Correct. Yep. We have a group coming in and we're still looking to build upon that group as well.
Yeah, well, without revealing too much, and don't have to answer the question at all if you want, but once that announcement was made, Jamie Pinkerton's moving on, and your phone starts to blow up. Mm-hmm. Players, what are their greatest concerns? Are you, our coach? Are you still going to be there? What do we do? What's going to happen?
Yeah, absolutely. That was the biggest question. Is there's times that if the head coach leaves, assistants will leave with them. Being from Missoula, I wanted to be back in the area and stay in Missoula. And so I never felt like leaving Missoula was an option, although Jamie had asked me if I would be interested in joining his staff.
Wondered about that one.
which is nice.
Yeah, it is very nice. But I feel like literally I am at home and I want to be here. And so with that, I felt like I could be honest with the players, letting them know this is where I want to be. And we'd wait out the time frame to see if it was an opportunity for me to stay with the program.
Sure.
This is Sports Talk Tonight with Gurns and Bedard. We have in studio with us the new Lady Grizz softball coach, Melanie Meuchel, taking over for Jamie Pinkerton, who, as you well know, went back to Iowa State and did great here. And that's what happens sometimes. Your coach is in demand. And I've read in articles that, Jamie was kind of the boisterous, the talkative one. You're more on the reserved side. Putting words into your mouth, but is that and good coach, bad coach, good cop, bad cop? Were you kind of the good cop in the scenario, and is it difficult to transition to kind of change?
Yeah, I always kind of compare it that an assistant coach usually is like the aunt and uncle. You get a little bit of discipline, but you're a whole lot of fun. You don't have to really, crack the whip on them.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
a good analogy.
The head coach could be mom or dad. And so they have a little bit more of the disciplinary. One thing that I feel that over the course in the leeway that I was given with Coach Pinkerton was, I was able to have some structure with them, hold them accountable. And I think that is just carrying over. My biggest thing is be able to communicate with them, let them know what you're thinking, let them know where you stand at all times. And that accountability is the same as when I was an assistant or a head. Yes, I do have to take over a little bit more discipline in some areas, that maybe Jamie had at that time in the balance. But I think the biggest thing is just the communication and just letting them know that whether I was an assistant or a head, I'm here for them. I want to help them succeed in every aspect, and we're in it together.
Well, since you've been with the program since its beginning, you probably were the first, as far as recruiting is concerned, the first contact that a lot of the players on the roster had anyway, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Between Jamie and myself, we shared that aspect and got out and recruited them. And from day one, the first time that they came on campus, have had that relationship with every player that has been here at the University of Montana.
Yeah. Oh, recruiting, the facilities at Montana are second to none, and you can throw that in with, aside from the track, which I know they're working at getting updated a little bit, but how awesome is that stadium and that facility on South Campus how nice is that to have to recruit to?
It is absolutely amazing. When they started the program, you never know what they're going to be able to provide. And the University of Montana, the athletic department, the president, and people in the community have stepped up. And, it's if you build it, they will come. And I think just did a fabulous job putting together a beautiful field, all-turf field. We have an indoor facility so that we can use at this time with the snow. Mm-hmm. But then also the new addition of the grandstands this year. And if you haven't stopped by, they're just amazing. It really is the wow factor. And we have become the nicest field in the Big Sky Conference, let alone we have a very nice field in the Pacific Northwest.
And it's amazing at Missoula, and you know this, and you know this too. If there's something to rally around, if there's funds to be raised, if it's something for the kids, if it's athletic, it'll get done.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I was going to say they'll put those bleacher to good use.
Absolutely.
Because you are rapidly endearing yourself to the community, shall we say.
Absolutely. From when I was a little kid, you always looked at Grizz athletics with so much pride, and just to be a part of it, it's even bigger. And just the community, how much, everyone says it or wears it or whatever, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Denny, should we get to trivia?
Why don't we do that, Gurns?
Let's do that. We'll get to trivia, take a quick break, and we'll have more with Coach.
Sure. We'll spend a little more some more time with Melanie Meuchel. Hope you can stay for a little while. I didn't
Absolutely.
ask you. Okay, good.
Yep.
Good. You're on board then. You're stuck with us. So, 721-1290 if you know the answer to Sports Talk Tonight trivia. That's brought to you by Fuddruckers and Happy Days Car Wash. And you might win a $10 gift certificate to Happy Days. I should say a gift card for the Works Car Wash at Happy Days. On Brook Street between Fairbridge Inn and Pizza Hut, you want the best car wash in town, you go to Happy Days. And a $10 gift certificate to Fuddruckers. Introducing, of course, anything you order from Fuddruckers, you top it yourself. But introducing, Gurns. even you, I think, would get filled up with the Angus Steakhouse Burger. We're talking a half pound of grilled Angus beef. You got your Swiss cheese. You got your smokehouse bacon. You got your grilled mushrooms and onions. Try the new Angus Steakhouse Burger at Fuddruckers. Also this month, Butterfinger milkshakes.
Just gained 4 pounds.
Just listening to me and my persuasive tone. I got some basketball tickets, too. What did Uncle Denny pull out here? A couple of reserve seat tickets to Grizzly basketball. The guys hosting the team they just vanquished, the Vikings. The men's team hosting Portland State on Thursday, February 8th. We've got 2 reserve seat tickets to that as well. If you know the trivia answer, at 721-1290. All righty. Speaking of which, Montana Grizzly basketball 6-0 in Big Sky Conference play after beating Sacramento State and Portland State on the road last week. Now, 7 years ago, Portland State basketball team had a pretty talented player who has made a nice living, not in the NBA, but as a tight end in the NFL. Is that A, Lance Kendricks, B, Julius Thomas, or C, Delaney Walker? Portland State basketball player had a pretty good run in the NFL. Is that A, Lance Kendricks, B, Julius Thomas, or C, Delaney Walker? Gurns, we desperately need a winner at 721-1290.
Still playing, by the way, in the NFL. And you know, these prizes will change your tax bracket, but it is a new year, so it won't have to be claimed until next year. So give us a call. 721-1290. Make yourself a winner.
All right.
And we'll have one of those when we come back. Sports Talk Tonight. Gurdens and Bedard.
Now back to Missoula's Sports Talk Tonight on KGVO.
Missoula Sports.
Every second of every day.
We are back. Sports Talk Tonight, brought to you in part by Grizzly Liquor, located downtown next to the Iron Horse. Big Sky, big selection, and online at grizzlyliquor.com. By the Ranch Club, golf, dining, entertainment, events, and the incredible pool. Visit them online at ranchclub.com, located just off Mullen Road. And by the Orange Street Food Farm, locally owned and operated grocery store featuring the freshest fruits and vegetables, fresh meats, and a great beer and wine selection. Denny Bedard, trivia winner on the line.
It is Mark Raby from Missoula. Mark, how are you this evening?
Doing good, thank you.
Thank you for listening. Did you stumble on us from time to time listening to Sports Talk Tonight?
Yeah, you bet I do.
All right. Hey, Grizzly basketball team off to a great start. In fact, I think it's only the fourth or fifth time in school history that they've gone 6-0 to start Big Sky Conference. I thought that was an odd stat, but there it is. After they beat Sacramento State and Portland State on the road last week. 7 years ago, the Vikings basketball team had a talented player who's made a nice living not in the NBA, but as a tight end in the NFL. Is that A, Lance Kendricks, B, Julius Thomas, or C, Delaney Walker? What do you think, Mark?
B, Julius Thomas, final answer.
Played 4 years on the Viking basketball team, then 1 year as a tight end on the football team. That was good enough for the Denver Broncos to draft him in 2011. He was All-Pro in 2013. Played in Super Bowl 48. Signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Then, Gurns, I got to admit, I've kind of lost track of him since then.
Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins, all right. Yeah, B, Julius Thomas, that was the answer we were looking for. Great job, Mark. And you got a big old prize package coming your way. I'll get that mailed out to you tonight, all right?
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Mark Raby of Missoula, our latest winner, Gurns.
Somebody from Missoula, Denny.
Yeah, we have a lot of Bitterroot Valley winners, Melanie, for some reason. But,
and everybody says they're always listening, so
yeah.
How many shows have we done?
A total?
So 52 weeks, maybe 150 to 200.
Like
so we have 150 to 200 listeners.
Yes, we do.
So that's
we've had a couple of repeat winners.
Double,
not many. Not many. Not much duplication. So. All right.
We're doing all right.
Now you know who you're talking to, Michael. You can see what a big time show this is here. Yeah. No, we loved having our winners on Sports Talk Tonight.
That is right. We're talking to Melanie Meuchel, the head coach for the Lady Grizz softball program, and notice that you've got another Meuchel on the coaching staff.
I do. Been very fortunate being back at home. Came from a softball family. Both my mother and father have coached well before I even started playing the sport, and I'm very fortunate that my dad has an opportunity to find some time to help volunteer.
You have how many? 3, including yourself, I guess, paid coaches.
Correct. So yeah, it's a head coach, an assistant, and 2 assistant coaches.
And I suppose with that many gals out there, and you need another set of eyes is helpful.
Absolutely. And with his experience, just eyes in every aspect, to be able to just help the players, give the student athletes the most. So.
And, of course, you were an assistant coach before being named head coach. Therefore, you had to find yourself an assistant coach. And as I understand that just got done. Can you tell us a little bit about the new coach, Westerman?
Yeah, absolutely. We are on day 3 as a complete staff. So it took a little bit of time to work through the hiring process, and really felt over Christmas break that we moved forward. Betsy Westerman joined us she drove in on Sunday and joined Brittany and myself and Dennis on Monday, and we started team practice yesterday. So the girls met her in the morning and underway. We felt like we found somebody that, has ties in the Pacific Northwest, loves Montana, is very passionate about the sport, brings a knowledge and passion in hitting. And, we felt like that it's the right fit for our program.
Interesting when you start a program from scratch, which is very rewarding, I'm sure, and you've been there from the beginning. Almost immediate success, probably maybe a year or two ahead of maybe where you thought you were going to be. What kind of team, looking at this year, what kind of team is that going to be like? Hitting, pitching, defense? What do you think?
I think that, it takes some time to gather everybody. And in the process of recruiting our first year, it was a little bit behind the 8 ball in some areas. I felt like we got the right kids to come to the University of Montana in year 1. The right kids that were willing to be gritty, be determined, passionate about the university. And now we're in year 4 with them. And when I say that, that's that original group. We've had people graduate through the system that have provided that for us. And we have, freshmen, sophomores, and juniors behind that very first class that came through. And they really just have paved an attitude for this program, and really kind of the attitude that put anything in front of us and we'll take on the challenge. And I think that after, going into our 4th year, we have experience. I think we'll always be presented with some things that we never have. It will always be a first. But I think some of the huge obstacles of first time putting on the uniform, who are we playing, what are we doing, I think we've got a little bit more of that comfort. And so I think that we'll be very veteran, but I think we're complete in every aspect of our game right now.
Well, and first-time head coaching, too, because you do have an abbreviated fall schedule, right? How did that go for you?
We get 8 games in the fall, and as the interim coach, just competed with the girls. We're in it together, and we had a great fall. We went 7-1. You never want to lose a game anywhere, but I felt like we competed. Felt like we showed a sign of confidence in what we were doing, and just growth as a team. You're always in your off season trying to develop the new team, because no matter what, you graduated people, and so whether it was a new coaching staff or not, you're always coming with a different team each year, and so that team has to figure out who they are as a collective group, and that's one thing that we really pushed to do this past fall. And I think you're still finding it, whether it's in season or not, but I think that we have the identity of our team this year.
Personally, how tough was it for you wanting to be and throw your hat into the ring to be the head coach, but at the same time just keeping the ship together, and how tough was that? Was it a balancing act?
I spent a lot of time at work.
Gurns, David, you struck a nerve.
Well,
we're the rah-rahs. We're not supposed to ask these tough questions here like that.
Yeah.
This is to the heart of the matter.
I'm somebody that it's really all about the bigger picture, the players and the program. And so, if I put my hat in the ring, then I'm going to do the best that I can, but I'm really here for the student athlete and for this program to keep moving forward. So it was never about me, never thinking, what can I do? How can I make this, my job? I just need to do the best job for the players and try to keep it going. I was someone that was very familiar with the program and was part of establishing that program. And so I felt comfortable with it. It just was a lot of hours, that's our job. That's what we're supposed to do.
I'm
Yeah.
a firm believer in good things happen to good people.
Oh, absolutely. And, Melanie's not the first example of that on campus recently. And I'm sure you can describe the interview process if you want. I'm sure that it was far from a mere formality, because one of your colleagues, Shannon Schwain, she's been on the show a number of times. She talked about that as that, no, I went through an interview process. I had things prepared. This is how I see the job. This is how I would like to do it. And it wasn't, I guess it was kind of like fans would have been shocked, but it wasn't a given, and I assume you had to approach it the same way.
Absolutely. And that's one thing I really respect is I think that our athletic department does a great job in making sure that they get the right fit for the program and for the student athletes and for the university and whatever that takes. And it was, a national search, and went through the hiring process and respected the process, and am very thankful for the opportunity that I'm being given here. But I think that, they do it the right way, and I'm very proud to be associated with them.
Well, and that's pretty cool, too, because it's got to feel better going through the national search and having, I want to say defeated but been the right coach for the job, as opposed to just, here you go, you've been here for 3 years, and, you deserve it.
Correct, absolutely.
Right. And you did, in your interviews and stuff, and some of the articles that I've read from Joel Carlson, the sports information director, who I think is one of the greatest sports information directors ever.
Absolutely.
Anything Joel writes, I read. Do I even know this sport? I don't know, but Joel wrote it, so I'm going to read about it.
Yeah.
And all of that. And you had described it as your dream job, and I got to believe that at least the 8-game, early season, I assume that probably validated your feelings about that being your dream job.
Absolutely. I've been very fortunate that I've had opportunities elsewhere. The sport early took me away from the state because there weren't many opportunities here in Montana, but I wanted to be back home. I wanted to be back with friends and family, and am very fortunate that Montana has softball here now, and it has allowed me to have both.
That's cool.
It seemed like Jamie Pinkerton would, if he could find a big name school to go play somewhere, that's where you were going to go. Do you kind of feel the same way about that? Is that eventually good for a team? Kind of toughens you and makes you better prepared for the upcoming conference schedule?
Absolutely. I do think that you have to have a balance, though. I think that you have to be able to get out and compete with the best, but also you want to make it where it's manageable, that you're not beat up before you hit conference as well. And so, early before conference starts in all of our early season tournaments, sometimes you don't necessarily know who is going to show up in your schedule. And so you try to pick places that are, maybe a team that you definitely know that you can compete with, and then from there, whoever enters that tournament.
Like in Northern Iowa and an Iowa State.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
How about that?
Well done. Yeah.
It's great to play those, just like in football, but the moral victories, only go so far.
Yeah.
Need to have some success.
And Melanie, I'm not asking on my behalf, but more on Scott Guernsey's. Have you ever contemplated celebrity bat boys?
Come on, we'll take you anytime. We'll take you anytime.
I've got a couple softball bats in the garage, and they're probably illegal. Titanium.
Yeah.
We'll take you.
Did you pine tar them, Gerns? You got them pine tarred up to the label?
No,
too?
sir. And I still haven't figured out. I like to have my pinky off the knob, and sometimes I don't. It just depends on how I was feeling that day.
Well, you should have. You knew she was going to be here. You should have brought one. She could have showed you.
I should have. I've got some relics. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
So, we talked early in the show about Coach Pinkerton makes the announcement, and you've got a lot of players on the active roster, and they're getting a hold of you, and they want reassurance. They want to kind of know where it's going. The same is true of recruits that had signed or were about to sign, and now they're about to sign, same program, different coach. That had to have been a little bit of I don't necessarily want to say challenge, because I'm sure they're great kids, but that was one more thing on your plate that you had to address immediately, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They were probably day 2 phone calls. It really was one of those touch base with our current team and then get with the recruits and speak with them, and they're talented players. They're great individuals, and they were going to be an asset to our program. So they were kids that I definitely wanted to keep aboard and keep them through the process. It was a lengthy process by the time they, had named a head coach. So it was keeping them aboard through that time, letting them know that if I was here in any aspect, that they would still have their same offer. We still want them here, and they'd be an addition to us. So we're very fortunate that we have them.
That's a credit not only to you that they still stuck, but a very young program. It just shows you, I guess, the power of the University of Montana facilities program. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, we're excited for them.
All right, we'll take one more quick break.
Come back and wrap things up.
Yeah, we're going to keep you around, Coach.
We're going to grill her a little bit more here.
We are.
we got to talk about the fundraiser bank.
That's right, and I've got to ask more stupid questions. So just like every other show,
I realize it's softball, but hey, the season's starting up pretty quick too, Gurns.
And we are talking slow pitch, right? That's the kind of softball I used to be able to play. Oh no, well, anyway.
Yeah, we'll put it on a tee for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go find your bat in the garage.
More with Coach Meuchel when we come back. Sports Talk Tonight.
Yeah.
Sports Talk Tonight, live from the KGVO studio.
Missoula Sports.
We are back. Sports Talk Tonight, brought to you in part by Bell McCall Ford. Great selection of new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Bell McCall is your locally owned, low-cost auto dealer for over 100 years in downtown Hamilton. By Granite Pharmacy, locally owned and operated pharmacy on South Avenue between Shopko and Big Sky High School. Find them at granitepharmacy.com. And the Peak Health and Wellness with 3 premier facilities in Missoula and a dedicated staff to help you achieve and maintain your health and wellness goals. Danny.
Yes, Melanie Meuchel, the new head coach of University of Montana Grizzly softball, and Pete called in a question, Melanie, and thank you, Pete, for listening. And I was just wondering we've been talking a lot about recruits and current personnel, players and whatnot. Just kind of wondering, was there just a little bit of attrition in the team, or turnover, if you will, that could possibly be in any way attributed to coaching change? Certainly understandable. I mean, that happens all the time. We're going to see that happen on the football program a little bit and things like that. But I guess that's just something an incoming coach is probably always going to have to face and deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. We did have a current player leave us and go with Jamie Pinkerton to Iowa State. It's always, hard to lose an athlete because of that, but she felt like it was a place that she wanted to be, and it was a person that she wanted to be with. So sure. We respect that. And we had 2018 that had committed, and through the process and the length of time it took to be able to name someone, the uncertainty if the new head coach would keep them aboard, and felt like they needed to make a decision and stayed closer to home.
Oh, and you'll probably agree with me because I'm pretty smart. Just ask Denny. You would much
You've
rather
been around me too long.
You would much rather get the coaching process and the leader of your squad for the next hopefully 20 years right. It's not about a player.
Absolutely.
And totally understandable if they've got to make that decision, whatever reason. Time, home, whatever. So that kind of stuff happens even when the coach stays the same.
Absolutely.
Whatever. No big deal. Thanks, Pete, for the question. Oh, good question.
Yeah, we appreciate that. And we realize that it is mid-January, but you are not too far away from playing a few ball games, are you, Melanie?
No, not at all. We started practice yesterday, and we will head out on February 7th and compete in a doubleheader. Our first evening will be February 8th down in Grand Canyon, a doubleheader with Grand Canyon. So we are 3 weeks away, 21 days out, I believe.
Yeah. What all needs to be done to get prepared for that?
Well, the sun needs to come out. It needs to melt the snow off our field. Actually, they're working very diligently and trying to plow off the field and get it available because we are seeing sun and would have an opportunity to be out on the field practicing. But just trying to get our reps in, try to make sure that we are mentally and physically where we need to be first weekend out, because it will be a fun, tough challenge with our schedule sitting in front of us.
Boy, it's so much of baseball and softball is mechanics.
It is.
It's hitting on, doing the tee work, doing just getting the, it's kind of like when you go out golfing the first time of the year. I swear to goodness, I've pulled every piece of fat on my torso just from twisting and the torque and all that stuff. Yeah. I mean, there is a ton of just very boring, monotonous work that goes on to get ready for the season.
Absolutely. And we kind of tell them that every day. You try to come up with a different drill that might spice it up a little bit for them, but it really is kind of the same skill over and over and over. Yeah. And so
can you really see the dot on the ball when it comes out of the pitching machine? You remember that with the color of it?
Yes.
Like what color is the dot?
Yeah.
Blue?
It can be a guessing game on some.
It was to concentrate so much on the.
Yeah.
I think it was all a guess.
Wonder what else I would not be able to do.
If this is another question for Coach, this is a first.
Uh-oh.
A 2-question night.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Oh my goodness. How is that? So if they get the snow plowed off the field and get it, isn't it still kind of slippery or is it?
We're very fortunate that we have the full turf. With sun out, it might be a little bit slick, but nothing that we can't practice on. So it will be, any opportunity for us to get out, and especially for our outfilders to see fly balls. I mean, you just can't simulate that and anything else. So
see the bat off the ball and get your angles down and tracking it down.
Yeah. Yep.
I hear you. Oh, there he is. Denny?
Yeah.
Do we have another question?
It was a comment about the success of youth softball in Missoula, i.e. the Zootown All-Stars. Yep. And not a naive question. He was just making sure. Now you're talking like the same style of play. I said, yeah, fast pitch softball.
I think I might have fouled that up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
when you asked to, with your slow pitch thing.
Yeah.
So
and you can strike out in slow pitch softball too. By the way,
it's probably given the age of those kids now, it's probably borderline recruiting oriented, and we know that's a no. But if nothing else, Melanie, it's kind of cool, and you probably see it in the fan support that you're getting already. It's kind of cool that high school, well, even younger than high school, fast pitch softball is a pretty big deal in Missoula.
It is. It has been for years.
Yeah.
It has been from men's and women's fast pitch all the way down through Little League, and just a lot of years, a lot of passion for this sport, and the growth, I feel like, in the numbers that are beginning to play are large, whether it's in our club ball, whether it's in our Little Leagues. I just think it's phenomenal the way that our state is really starting to, pick up this sport in a larger number. A lot of opportunities for them.
And if you have ever been to a state softball tournament, I think 2 years ago, the state tournament was in Missoula.
Yep.
My son's stepfather is head coach at Butte High.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
And so his father was like 20 years previous to him.
Yeah.
So
wow, legacy.
And it's big. And so I go, I'm in Butte all the time, and it's big over there too. It's a good deal.
I feel like we're starting to play it a little bit more than just 3-4 months of the year. We're starting to see it a little bit more year round. Not that it has to be year round, but it just more outside of the traditional April through June time frame.
Well,
so.
They're in the gym.
You mentioned an indoor practice facility. Is it enough that you feel like you can? You talked about. Well, it'd be nice to get the snow off the ground and get outside and play, but you can't get outside and play right now. Can you be fairly productive in your indoor practice facility?
Oh, we can. It's been amazing. Between the university and a couple donors that were able to put the funds up, it is a facility that is fully turfed inside, that we can put 4 batting cages that are retractable back and forth, that give us 70-foot lanes that we can hit in.
Wow.
Today, in our practice, we had 2 of them out. We had outfield hitting while infield was doing some monotonous drill work of some defensive stuff. We did send the outfield out, and they got a couple fly balls. We have a strip on our field that is cleared for us at this time. So it is amazing for our players, but then it's also an opportunity for people in the community to rent it out in the evening and have that opportunity to kind of grow the sport for baseball, softball.
Yeah,
for
hey,
anyone
that's smart.
looking for it. So
Yeah. I have not had an opportunity to attend one of these, and I know that you're being received very. I mean, I guess since the very first one, but you do an annual Meet the Team fundraiser banquet event. It's coming up real soon. Tell us a little bit about that.
correct. February 3rd, Saturday, February 3rd at 5:30. Following the Lady Grizz basketball game, we do a Meet the Team dinner, and it really started out first year as a place in which our players could meet the fans, and the fans could interact with the players because we were so new and trying to really create that bond. And it's grown 50 people every year. 325 attended last year, and the first year our players were like, oh, really, do we have to do this? A little nervous about what was going to be in front of them. That was a lot of people for them.
Yeah.
And after I think our players love it so much. They just have so many compliments about the people that they're meeting and kind of the following that we're getting. And so it's a fun evening. It's an evening where, we try to seat one player at each table. It's grown big enough that we almost have to have 2 tables per player to be able to have that interaction. And then just an evening of kind of getting to know the players, but then just the interaction that they get. We have live and silent auction. A number of people in this community are very generous in some donations that they provide, and some businesses that do table advertisement. It just has been, it's been a fun evening for everybody.
So that's the first Saturday in February.
Correct.
And it is held where?
It is at the Holiday Inn downtown.
All right. Brooks and Browns there at their banquet
Correct.
facility area there at the
Correct.
Holiday Inn.
It is so, and softball's different than football because you can get closer to the players. You can see their faces. You can see their emotions, and I know when I was playing football here, a couple of the families. I'm from over by Seattle, and so my family's not here, and you kind of become a part of families, and Thanksgivings and it's just you meet the kids, and then they follow you your whole career, and then you're pen pals, and then it's a really cool deal to be able to meet whatever sport you're playing. You're a softball fan and you get a chance to sit down at a table with one of your players. I mean, for some kids that's a lifelong bond that it's pretty cool deal.
And although the fans feel it, our players feel it just as much. And that's kind of the exciting thing is, I was a fan of Grizz athletics as a young kid, but to know that it reaches the players as much as it reaches the fans is
because they're from, you got people from Las Vegas and from Washington and
Correct.
from Colorado.
Correct.
They're without their families. Now they're getting a support group.
correct. Yep.
Yeah. I think when you first started, I think the perception of the program, too, as far as the players on the team was, okay, well, I guess they're going to find a handful of kids from Montana. That's where they're going to have to get them and make do with that. But you kind of look down that roster, and you've spread your wings pretty good on the recruiting trail, haven't you?
We have. And, it's finding the best athletes for this university. And you want to get as many Montana players. You want to get as many players that are within the region as well that we can go play in front of the families, but the families can also attend, and then it is that bond of Grizz Nation falls in love with just the athletes, so wherever they're from.
Well, and as the state of Montana gets better at softball and more competitive, and like you're saying, they're starting to lengthen the season and stuff, then those players get better. You're able to recruit those homegrown players. So it's kind of a feed off each other
Get
type
the
of a deal.
reputation out there in front of you a little bit. Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's right. Back to the
Banquet.
February.
Day before the Super Bowl, Denny.
It
Yes, sir.
is.
Yeah, there it is. The February banquet. Cost of tickets?
They're $30.
And I think
for
you can get them
adults.
at gogrizz.com, right? If you
We'll
or
probably
Grizz
have
Ticks.
We'll have information up, but it's really contacting the softball department, and
Okay.
We can send the information out to you at that time.
All right. Awesome.
I tell you what, quite an enjoyable 45 minutes there, Coach Michael.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for
been
coming
great.
on. Yeah.
Will you consider being part of the house band, or was it?
Absolutely,
All right, wow.
absolutely.
well, that means you have to come on maybe right before the league starts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about that?
I think volunteering you to be the bad boy sealed the deal right
I
there.
was going to say, I'll see you before that 4.
I can coach you first base too. I can do the windmill.
Oh yeah, I'm stealing your signs over here. They're pretty bad.
Well, Coach, thank you. Good luck this season, and go Grizz.
Thank you very much. Go Grizz.
Awesome. Head coach for the University of Montana Lady Grizz softball team, Melanie Meuchel. When we come back, we'll have a little steal of the week, a little stupid athlete of the week, and we'll wrap her up right here on Sports Talk Tonight.
Now back to Missoula's Sports Talk Tonight on KGVO.
Missoula Sports.
Every second of every day.
Radio voice, we're back. Sports Talk Tonight.
Oh,
Brought to you in
nice.
part by Jerry Wessel's Tire Center. Locally owned, Les Schwab Tire Center provides the best tire value promise. Visit them online at jerrywesselstirecenter.com. And by CHS Mountain West Co-op, Western Montana source for Cynic's fuel, feed, fertilizer, clothing, and tack for over 75 years. And Peter Christian is nervous now because I've got a radio voice.
Oh, God, I hope I didn't teach you that from across the console. It's time for the Mina Birds Steel of the Week, actually. It's brought to you by True North Steel, Western Montana's industry leader in quality manufactured and fabricated steel products. Gurns, as if I didn't know, the Steel of the Week.
Okay, but there's a runner-up because I am self-serving.
Oh, that's fine. Consolation prize, okay.
Number 10, Kansas Jayhawks on Monday night at number 6, West Virginia, where they have lost 4 times in a row. Bob Huggins' team down. They're down 16 points to West Virginia and come back to nip them in the end. And I watched the whole game. I didn't get mad. And Jayhawks win. Big comeback. But
that was your warm-up.
that was my warm-up.
Your practice
Steal of the week. Y'all saw it. I didn't even see it. I was driving back from Helena from basketball, listening to it on the radio.
Kyle.
Oh, what do we hear? Is that
Yeah.
is that fans cheering on Stephon
Yeah.
Diggs?
Yeah.
Uh,
he loves the one where the home crowd, the applaud, the screaming just crescendos.
You know, the Vikings take the lead on the field goal.
Yeah.
A minute and something left.
about $1.30, something like that.
Timeout for the Saints, and I'm like, too much time for Drew Brees. Too much time for Drew Brees.
I agree.
And he drives down the field, doesn't even use the timeout, says, I don't need this. You know, I'm from Purdue. I'm a Boilermaker.
Quoting.
I'm 5'11".
Yeah.
And they kick a field goal. They go on top, and you're thinking, oh, man, Minnesota's they're sunk. They are just sunk. And 10 seconds left. They're on, their own 35 or 30-yard line, whatever it was. Throw a pass to the sideline to try to get out of bounds to stop the clock because there's no timeouts left, and they're going to kick the field goal. They're down by 1, right? Well,
They're going to kick the field goal if Stephon Diggs, after he catches the ball,
goes out of bounds.
Can get out of bounds. Yeah.
And he's on the sideline. A perfect pass by Keenum. The corner, Williams, comes up and just olays the tackle. Diggs puts the hand down, stays in bounds. He's in the end zone. Everybody's kind of going, what the hell just happened? Mm-hmm. And the Vikings, in one of the most improbable comebacks ever, I don't say comebacks, but victories ever, they're marching on to the NFC Championship game. So congratulations, Skol Vikings.
Yeah. Just the whole bizarre sequence. I mean, New Orleans, when they settled for their field goal, I believe it was 4th and maybe 1, and they were on the 26th. I think it was a 43-yard field goal. But think about if they had converted that run, which they had not done all day. Drew Brees was carving up the Minnesota defense, but the running game was not. And New Orleans has a really good running game, and it's 3rd down, and they opt to run. I mean, they're playing a little bit safe, but imagine they pick up that 1st down. None of this happens.
I mean, I wish I was a Viking instead of a Pollock this week. I mean, actually, I wish I was anything. I mean, and I've done Ancestry.com, and they draw these circles, and I swear to God, I've got some Norse that it goes up there. So
yeah,
you're
not just jumping on the band.
No.
Yeah, all right.
I'll drink from the horned cup.
Yeah,
or the helmet or whatever that.
Yeah, you should have brought Kelsey in tonight. She's surrounded by Viking love here.
She might
tonight,
start crying again.
Steel of the Week is brought to you by True North Steel.
Stupid athlete of the week, Denny.
Yes, sir.
I don't really have one. LeVar Ball's an idiot. That's a given. No, he's not an athlete. He averaged 1 point a game in college, but yet he can take Michael Jordan. Anyways, my stupid athletes are any professional athlete that gets busted for drinking and driving or drugs. And case in point, since I'm self-serving, Seattle Seahawk, Jeremy Lane. I don't know where it was, but he gets arrested on a suspicion of DUI. I think it might have been in Florida. And his response to the cop was, "I'm more stoned than I am drunk."
Oh, okay.
Oh,
shoot!
great.
What a relief! I'm glad.
Well, here are your keys.
I'm glad
Get home safe now.
I'm glad you said something not everybody does.
I mean, I get it, and it happens. But you know, if you've got that much, I mean, hey, if Uber's in Missoula, Uber's everywhere, and it's real easy.
Yeah,
trust me.
Yeah,
trust me.
Yeah.
But boy, just to put, you know, you're making millions of dollars, and you're putting, number one, your life in jeopardy. But I mean, you know, people aren't messing around anymore. And if you're an average player like Jeremy Lane, wish he would have got cut last year. You're going to be gone, and you're losing literally millions of dollars.
Right.
Please. Anyways, those are my stupid athletes.
Just so you know, I'm sure this will concern you. Getting back to the Vikings victory, one of my Facebook friends, Robin, a huge Seattle Seahawks fan, and that I knew, but I did not know that she had a problem with the Vikings. And so on Facebook right after the game, "Great game, stinking Vikings." And I thought, well, how dare you? And so I did put a curse of just for that, one more year of Blair Walsh. And so you know what she replies back with? "Stinking Vikings." I said, "Keep it up. It's now 2 years." So just
What's
so
her name?
Robin Charlo is her name. My friend Robin Charlo.
Thanks a lot, Robin. You are dead to me now. Like we need any more bad juju.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was a feel-good weekend for me. The Grizzly basketball teams go 4-0, and the Vikings pull off the stunning victory. But congratulations to our Montana Grizz and Lady Grizz basketball teams, and I guess starting with the Lady Grizz, how far they have come.
Yeah, Coach Michael, pretty exciting in the offices up there these days.
It is. It's great in the office. Very proud of the coaching staff for Lady Grizz and men basketball.
Yeah, and like Danny alluded to, boy, how far they've come from last year and then the start of this year, and they are winning on grit, hustle, and determination.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And lest you think this attitude is reserved for the men's coaching profession, and I mentioned this to Shannon yesterday during our Grizzly basketball coaches shows. Now, personally, I think maybe Shannon could be a little more forceful or forthright with the officiating when it doesn't go her way, maybe just a wee bit more. But I said, thank you for not being the kind of jerk that Portland State's head coach is.
For the men?
For the women.
Oh, for the women.
Lynn Kennedy is his name. And he's one of those coaches, Gurns. You know how this drives me crazy. His team, the Portland State women's basketball team, by the way, just so everybody, if there's any officials out there listening, you need to know, they have never committed a foul.
Oh, of course not.
Their opponent travels on every single possession. I think even at the free throw line, when they're shooting free throws, I believe they travel. Is one of those. And you just, and I'm sitting right there courtside, and so the guy's 10 feet from my left ear, but it's just tip, 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 to the point where, I don't know, in my mind, maybe it's different in umpiring and coaching softball, maybe a little bit different, but in my mind as a college basketball official, when it is nonstop, doesn't it just become white noise? Isn't it just background after?
Well, yeah, it's almost like crying wolf. You quit lift. Either it's going to work or it's going to do the complete opposite. And obviously it's irritating you, Denny.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's all about you.
But, just really appreciative that and I've seen it on the you see it on the men's side more often, but Big Sky Conference women's basketball coaches, that guy's he takes the cake. So
there's a way to do it too, and I'm sure it's with softball. It's with every sport. There's a way to approach an official.
Yeah.
And in a way that it's more effective than others.
Yep. So
daggers probably doesn't work.
You are on the road next week. Have a great time. Eric Tabor, Sports Information Director, will be filling in for you, and we hope you have a lot of fun.
House band member.
Yep, I guess I'll see you in 2 weeks.
That's right. Thank you, Coach Michael. Good luck this year, and I'll see you in 2. Sports Talk Tonight. Gurns and Bedard, we are out of here.